Hi, I'm back. And we're playing Widow's Shadow, which is a story about a widow and their shadow. Real intriguing, see. Thank you, I know. Um, okay. So, first of all, I really like the penciliness of the, the GUI, the UI. Uh, sounds. Okay. But, I hope the game isn't too scary. It says it's around 100k words, so it shouldn't take too long. But it's done like a, they said like a German film, German expressionist silent film, which I'm not super familiar with. Most we did. I never did a film class. I just watch movies, and so good one, she. Thank you. So, yep. I hope it's not as depressing as Proto-Violence. Proto-Violence was really depressing. Alright. I hope it's not as depressing, I say, and then like, wait a second, we're literally playing as a widow though, who lost her husband. Ah. Death. In the end, it gets us all. It's an inevitability we're all aware of, yet we try hopelessly to ignore it. The war exposed us all to the fragility of life, leaving only carcasses of the people we once knew. Friends, family, lovers, gone forever. Even though the war ended a few years ago, its remnants are still felt. We try to return to our lives, to blind ourselves to the final fate of all. But in the end, death gets us all. And for some, that ending arrives unexpectedly, much earlier than it should. I still can't believe it. He's truly gone.
I just visited his clinic last week and nothing was wrong. How could this happen? Never before have I met someone as caring at him. He was so young, too. May God bless his soul. If that's true, then he was the only one who actually took my illness seriously. Without him, I may as well be the one in that coffin. You know, I've been wondering about his death.
Hush, his wife is coming this way. Oh,
She actually? Keep your distance, I heard.
is that true? I knew something. The townspeople continue chattering behind me. I know they're discussing me, but their words grow distant as I look at the cadaver of my late husband. His face no longer shows any signs of life, his skin as pale as the moon above us. It seems cruel that the world has taken such a beloved man and left his worthless wife instead. How? Just how am I meant to go on? A tear slips down my cheek and into the casket. Without him, I'm no one. I may as well vanish from existence. As the whispers around me dissipate, the funeral continues. Only 3 days have passed since the funeral. I have not left the house since then. It's not unusual. Rather, it was the norm even when my husband was still alive. After all, I had to take care of the chores around the house and prepare things for when he returned from work. There was barely any reason for me to go out. Now that he's no longer here, the silence in the room is more noticeable than ever. I still remember when I found his body, his hand slowly releasing its grasp from his shirt as he took his last breath. It was too late for me to do anything. Once more, I was unhelpful, even when it mattered the most. Everything afterwards is a blur, but his face is burned in my mind. Contorted in an expression I had never seen on him before. One of helplessness. I bring a hand to my chest. The air around me feels suffocating. It'd be good to get groceries. I'm running out of eggs already. Same, sister. A simple excuse to get out of the room. The afternoon sun is covered by a multitude of clouds. but that hasn't seemed to stop the townspeople from spending time outside. I can feel their eyes on me as soon as I exit the house, but I try to ignore them.
Is that the doctor's wife?
Oh my, it is her.
It's weird to see her outside, wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely, but don't stare at her too much. You will not believe the things I've heard. You would not believe. Sorry.
Oh, now I must know.
Knot forms in my throat. No matter how much I try to block out their voices, they're too loud to ignore. I saw her at the funeral the other night. I'm sure I saw her hide us. Oh, wait, that's Ella.
I saw her at the funeral the other night. I'm sure I saw her hide a smile. Unbelievable. If I may,
Oh, wait, curious. I can't keep. Okay.
if I may, how did the doctor die again? They said heart failure, but you don't think she could have, you know.
Nosy ass people. Indeed. Gossip is. They're just like sipping tea. My body tenses upon hearing them, upon understanding what they mean.
I bet she did. Frankly, I think she just disappointed the ward didn't take him away. She probably wanted to keep his money all to herself.
Hey, yo. I'm gonna smack you in the face. That's not true.
Maybe she was getting tired of married life. From what I hear, it doesn't sound like she actually loved him at all.
That's not true.
I saw her husband looking very worried not too long ago. You think he expected this?
Well, he was always going on about how he thought his wife was going to kill him.
What? That's not true. Overwhelmed by the words that surround me, I hurry my pace, desiring nothing more than to get away. I run and run, the judgment in their voices still ringing in my ears. They think I killed him. I shouldn't have left the house, but it felt so painful to stay inside. Now, perhaps, the whole world will be filled with suffering for me. I press on and forget my destination. Oh, I press on until I forget my destination, not paying attention to my surroundings anymore. Oh, okay. I finally stop to catch my breath, my legs aching from the sudden exercise. These clothes are not made for running, nor are my shoes, nor is my body. Only once I regain my breath do I notice that the ground beneath my feet is no longer stone. I lift my head slightly and notice that, in my panic, I've stumbled into a forest. Sorry. I don't remember there being any forests nearby. I turn around to try and retrace my steps, back to where I came from, but I only see more trees behind me. This isn't good. How will I return home? Looking forward once more, I notice a clear path between the trees. I wonder if, perhaps, it could take me somewhere I could ask for directions. As I walk through the trees, a curious shape makes itself visible in the distance. A house! A rather small building stands out at the end of the path. A house? Here of all places? At the moment, approaching it seems like my best bet to find someone who can aid me. With light steps, as if my legs still ache from before, I walk the path towards the house. It takes some time, but eventually I make it to the house. The building is unlike any other I have seen. Its walls and windows twist and turn in strange ways, never upright. As I observe the place, I take notice of something unexpected. Oh. A group of people were having a lively chat just outside the house. There's an odd feeling inside me as I watch from close by. I have seen them before. They're people from town. What are they doing in a place like this? My eyes wander to a strange-looking man. Something about him is different from the rest. Yeah, he's like, you know, not a shadow.
Oh, thank you so much for taking care of me, Doctor. I've been feeling much better ever since I first visited you.
Please. Oh, shut up. Please, there's no need to thank me. I'm just glad I could be of help. If you feel any side effects from your new medicine, do let me know as soon as possible, alright?
You're so humble, too. We're truly blessed to have you in this town. It's such a shame that you're already spoken for.
I walk a bit closer to take a better look at them. Upon laying my eyes on the face of that strange individual, I finally recognized him. That's my husband! What? Well, he should be dead! Sorry, I read the Itch.io page. I do know that it's the husband. Okay. Oh, you're too kind. But don't let my wife hear that. But he died! How could he be here, standing in front of me? Although, that hair, it isn't anything he had before. Could I be confusing him with someone else? His long-lost twin? But his face is identical, and they even mentioned he's a doctor. What's going on? Whoa. Oh. Okay. He has a secret twin. Who also married us? No. If it isn't my darling wife. Wife? No, it is him. But how can this be? Why are you making that face, love? Are you perhaps not happy to see me? Of course, this is the greeting I get from you. I shouldn't have gotten my hopes up. Sorry. I don't understand. This man, who is supposedly my husband, leans in and lowers his voice. You've always got your head in the clouds. Who knows what kind of crazy thoughts you're having right now? The least you could do is not embarrass me in front of my patients. Hey, yo. I'm sorry, but I haven't done anything. But I haven't done anything to... I'm not looking for excuses. Oh. I will give you another chance this time, since I'm feeling generous. He really is just like him, despite the changes in his appearance. Yet, he shouldn't be here, or anywhere else for that matter. Is this real? My gaze wanders from my husband to the strange house behind him. Everything around me seems uncanny. Must be going crazy. I need to find out more. It's investigating time. I have no idea what's happening here. Perhaps I'm going mad, but I need to find out more. I face my husband, who seems to be awaiting an answer from me. But as I open my mouth to speak, his figure, as well as those of the villagers, disappears into thin air. How? I realize that it's useless to ask anything out of empty air. Okay. My eyes fall upon the door once more. Perhaps inside I can learn what's truly happening here. I gather enough courage to knock. The door opens unexpectedly, before my knuckles can even strike it once. Hello? A voice echoing through the walls of the house flows out the door. Come in, I've been waiting for you. What'd you do? Open the door? A curiosity killed the cat, and if we're the cat and about to die, then that's just how the cookie crumbles. Waiting. A part of me is terrified, wondering what I'm getting myself into. And yet, despite this, I don't hesitate to take a step forward and enter the house. It's dark only for a moment before the inside of the house reveals itself. To my surprise, the space before me is much larger than it seems from the outside. The walls extend far beyond what I would have imagined could fit within them. I take another step deeper inside, even as anxiety builds within me. There's no one around. Just where did that voice come from? Oh. As if triggered by my thoughts, the lights go out. My eyes adapt to the darkness. At least there's still some light from the windows. At last, the devil is dead! Hello? A sudden voice calls out, the same as before, but this time so much clearer. There's an odd familiarity in that voice, one that I can't quite place. A shadow is cast on the steps, coming from me, and its form begins to change. The lights turn on again, blinding me for just a second. Oh. And where the shadow was before, there is now a woman. Autumn.
At last you're here. I've been waiting for you for so long. Oh, so long. We have to celebrate.
What? Celebrate? Wait, who are you? There's something strange about this woman, not only in the way she dresses and in her mannerisms, but also in her voice. It sounds just like my own, exactly the same that I hear. Oh, so our shadow. Okay, then I'll just Just my voice. Me? Oh, love, you haven't figured it out yet? I'm you. Huh? Don't be ridiculous. I'm me. You can't be me. Right? Why, you're quite slow. The woman in front of me raises her veil. Well, that's certainly... I'm your shadow. What? Your face? It's just like mine. Finally understanding, I'm the truest, most honest version of you there is. Oh, okay. And then our husband, our wacky husband, is our husband's shadow, even though our husband is dead. His shadow is still here. How? It's like I'm looking into a mirror. But even if we look the same, her attitude is nothing like mine. You may not have been aware, but I've been around for a long time. She wants her husband dead. She's the one who killed him. This is a Persona 4 moment. However, I'm getting quite tired of having to explain myself. Let's move on to the celebration, shall we? What celebration? Did you not hear me the first time? The death of that devil, of course. Or in clearer terms, the death of our husband. What? Oh, I've waited so long for that man to croak. How could you say that? Huh? Why do you look so sad? This is what you wanted, isn't it? You should be happy. Didn't you feel joy seeing life abandon his body? Seeing him lose his strength and keel over? Seeing him die because of you? Stop! How dare you say such things? I loved him. He was my husband. You do know that those things don't have to correlate, right? And implying I killed him? I'd never have done that. Things weren't always perfect, but that's normal in any relationship. Losing him hurt the whole town. It hurt me. I'm nothing like you. Huh. You're quite pathetic, aren't you? Fine. We can leave the festivities for later. Since you're having such a hard time accepting this, perhaps I'll give you a little more time. Behind me, the doors slam shut. Okay, there's stands. I was gonna say, I'm like, this plot development feels a lot like Linny's story quest. Oopsie. Don't even try. That door is locked tight. Why? It's much too early for you to leave. Feel free to explore the house. I'm sure you'll find plenty of interesting things in the shadows. See you later. With those words, the shadow vanishes from view, leaving me alone in the strange house. Still haven't played. Well, when you do, just know that this is basically it. There's a little choice on what to do next. I could just wait here, but perhaps I should do as she says. Though the thought of what I might find frightens me. I take a deep breath, then head down the first hallway I see. Entering the windowless hallway, I notice how it stretches towards a never-ending void. I turn to go back the way I came, only to see that the archway I entered through has vanished. Please, no. Hello? Are you still there, Shadow? As I call and scream for help, my voice is muted, sucked in by the darkness and lost to all but me. Great. No, this can't be my tomb. The harrowing creak of a door opening in the far distance draws my attention. As I gaze upon what lies before me, the end of the hallway feels far, impossibly far, but it's also the only respite available. I guess I have no choice. With each step I take, the end seems to draw further and further away. Sorry. The end seems to draw further and further away, and the door never comes into view. Huh? What's that? Something catches my eye up ahead. I rush over to get a better look. A large framed photo hangs on the wall, staring down at me. Craning my neck, I see two more further along the wall. Looking back to the photo before me, I see myself, and him, together on our wedding day, smiling. I still remember our vows. I promised to be your honest and faithful loving wife for the rest of my days. I vow to dedicate myself to your happiness and success. My love for you is forever. It's comforting, remembering this moment in time when we were both happy. The happiness didn't last long. Our first big argument was that night after the reception. Not wanting to wallow in my memories of him, I move on to the next hanging frame. That vow is so bad. She had ChatGPT write her vow. Where did you go? There you are. Haha, I found you. Oh wait, this is Widow's friend. The next picture's silhouette stares down at me, my old friend from life before marriage. We've known each other since our youth. Hide and seek was our favorite game to play in the woods behind our homes. She was always supportive of the things I wanted to do, where I wanted to go, who I wanted to spend the rest of my life with.
If you say he's the one for you, then he's the one for you. I hope you'll be happy together. I wish you all my love and all the best in your future. Hope you've been well, my friend. It's been so long since we last spoke.
I often wonder where she is now. My memory fails to remind me of how and why our friendship ended. We were so close for so long. The cries of a baby pull me to the last framed photo. The closer I get, the louder the cries become. It's haunting. I look at the final photo and see a reminder of the new nursery my husband and I prepared only a couple of years ago. It was still early. I had yet to conceive, but we were nonetheless excited to welcome a new addition into our lives. I wish for a world where you could have joined me. Wanting to distract myself from my thoughts, I continue onwards. Did we have a miscarriage? Light breaks through the darkness as I make it to a slightly open door at the end of the hallway. Finally, a way out. My darling, you've made ample headway. I hear my husband's voice seeping through the next room, or from the next room. How is he here? Careful, if you progress too quickly, you won't have a reason to see me anymore. Is he talking to me? Before we were wed, he used to speak to me like this. He was charming. At least I found it so. That was when I was his patient. That's how we met. But this doesn't make sense. Ha ha ha! The woman's laughter echoes into the hallway. Of course he was speaking to someone else. He hasn't spoken to me that way in years.
Doctor, you're too funny. There's a reason I come here so often.
Well, maybe I can find another ailment to rid you of. I don't like where this is going. I draw closer to the door, peering through its crack. Sure enough, I see my husband in the next room, his own office. At least, the man who claimed to be him. He draws near to the only other person in the room and leans over her, posing closer than any patient would be comfortable with. And yet, it's clear she's not moving away anytime soon. It won't be...
It won't be hard. I'm positive you'll find a multitude of further examination.
She smiles seductively at him, encouraging him to continue. Is he like this with all his patients? And I just happen to be the first? Oh, what's going on? The quick disappearance of the woman surprises me, but only momentarily. The fact that I see my husband standing before me, or a version of him, shakes me much more. Darling, couldn't you see that I was with a patient? I've told you before, when I'm working, you are not to enter my office. Whether this man is real or not, he certainly sounds like my husband. And that tone, his manner of speech, it's as if he is here with me again. I shouldn't jump to conclusion. How can I not worry? He's right, this is part of his job, but how could I not worry upon finding him in a position as questionable as that? Who was that woman? I don't understand what's so unclear. She's a patient, nothing more. If you're worried because you were also my patient in the past, then you do well to remember that you're the one I married. And gratefully he chose me. Exactly, I'm his wife. Yeah. Once again, he's not wrong, but that is why these thoughts cross my mind. I'm his wife. Is this not how a wife should react? But now I question what sort of woman I've married. It's me! Hi! I'm the wife, it's me! Look at the mess around the house. Have you done any cleaning at all today? Speak up! I always do. I know how he'll respond, but I can't hold my tongue any longer. When my husband was alive, I always cleaned. Every day. He just never cared enough to notice. You should spend less time eavesdropping and more time taking care of our home. I often wish that there was a way to show him just how much I did for us. I don't have time to oversee both my own work and that of my wife. Do you ever take into account how tired I am at the end of my day? I do. I always do. Well, if that's all, you may return to your daily tasks. You'd best get started, considering how much you've been dilly-dallying. Even when I did finish all my work, he'd find more for me to do. He was never short of ways to keep me busy. Something continues to eat away at me. His words and their dismissive nature give me pause. That woman, I've seen her at our home before during his off hours. When he courted me, he was not married, but now, despite his marital status, she continues to return for his services, like a leech that's forever hungry for more. Oh my gosh. I see now. This like, appearing in the mirror is really cool effect. Or, I don't know, what do you call this? Composition. She's so passive, it's this good. Yeah, like, when we were first introduced to her, and like the first couple of lines, right? And she's like, my husband died, and now I don't know what to do, right? She was like, oh, after the funeral, she's like, I haven't left my house in so long, but it's not like I usually leave the house anyway. I just stay at home and clean and cook. I was like, girl, I can see so many problems right now. Despite his martial status, she continues to return. Yes, okay. Thoughts race through my mind, churning as questions of my husband's faithfulness return to haunt me. Why did he not refuse her advances? Was he looking to replace me? Were his assurances of love riddled with lies? I look back at the woman in the mirror. Does she not see me standing here? Who? Your patient. She has returned. I see her in the mirror, seeking your attention. You need a woman. You need a woman as your new husband. When they were like, she was talking about, oh yes, my friend from like elementary school. I wonder how our friendship faded away, right? I was like, oh boy, are you into girls? Could you perhaps? Okay. But that was a wild conspiracy theory, so there was based on nothing. Why has she returned so soon? She was just here. He sighs and looks at the mirror, then back at me. A hint of annoyance taints his face. You mustn't be well, my dear. I don't know what you see, but the only people in the reflection are the two of us. No, he's wrong. She's right there. Perhaps you're imagining things again. You know how prone you are to seeing and hearing things that aren't there. The woman in the mirror turns to stare at me. A wide smile creeps across her face, as if she had successfully lured my husband away. But she's right there. Can you really not see her? Stop your nonsense this instant. He waves me away, but I can't stop myself from looking at the woman. Her chilling smile and soulless eyes bore through me. She could have been the only one. He takes note that I have yet to depart. How many times do I have to tell you that she is not here? You must see her too. Tell me she's real. There is no one. I shut my eyes tight, shielding myself. Upon opening my eyes, I see that she has disappeared. Even when she leaves, I know she'll come back, time and again, time and time again, just to see you. Of course she will. I'm her doctor. That where it stops? Quit making up stories in your head. If there's anything going on, then why does she come by so often? Oh wait, that's me. If there's nothing going on, then why does she come by so often? Even when you retire for the evening? The more I speak my mind, the more I feel myself shake. I know I need to power through. A memory surges through me. I think I've felt this way before, but no more than... She can't have so much ailing her that she can simply visit whenever she pleases.
Drop it, now! Woman, can you not see that I'm devoted to you? Who do you think I work so hard for? I keep food on the table and a roof over our heads. There is no one else I am married to.
I recoil at his outburst. His face turns monstrous, almost otherworldly, like my shadow.
Oh no, not your mascara is running.
I can't bear to look at him.
Do you not see how much I do for us? And here you are, accusing me of outrageous things while you laze around, doing absolutely nothing.
Though this is far from the first time he's raised his voice, I'd never expected to experience this again, let alone so soon. I thought I buried these feelings when I buried him. I cannot see what devotion. Yeah, right. This is gaslight. I hear him breathing heavily, seething through his teeth. After a moment, he clears his throat. I know this is him attempting to regain composure. He sucks the rundown mascara back into his eyes.
My dear, look at me.
Slowly, I open my eyes. His irregular expression has returned, softer than before. Okay, you did the cooking and cleaning. Yeah, right?
Come, let me help you. Let me help ease your mind.
I take a step towards him, but stop when he reaches for his medicine cabinet.
Come here. This is for you and your well-being.
As I look at the medication that lies in his palm, I hesitate. My gaze returns to the mirror. Oh.
I do not take the pill.
I know my mind is not failing me. I know what I saw. I stand my ground, making it known that I do not plan on ingesting any more of his medicine. How do I know that these drugs aren't what caused me to see those supposed hallucinations? Oh wait, has this been going on for our entire marriage? Yo. He continues to stare at me sternly. Finally, he shrugs and places the pills back into their bottle.
You don't know what others in town say about you and your episodes. Administering these pills is my way of protecting you. Darling, try to understand the position you've put me in. Do you not see how you make me behave? I'm only this way when we're together. No one else pushes me to my limit quite like you.
What? What? You've changed, man. You weren't always like this.
I'm only telling you these things because I love you. Why must you continue to question me? What I do? How I am? If you truly loved me as much as I love you, you'd let me be. You'd trust me, just as I trust you to take care of our home in my absence.
I do love you. I love you as much as I trust you. Sure? But I do love you.
Then show me that you do. As it stands, I don't see your feelings reflected in your actions.
Oh, just kidding. Wrong one. Oh, I can roll back. Okay. He raises... Yeah, right? He raises the back of his hand to my forehead, checking for a fever. Content with his assessment, he steps back to look me up and down, scrutinizing me for more signs of illness.
Could there be something subconsciously clouding your judgment towards me?
This gives me pause. I think maybe he's right. My doubts must have manifested into how I've been seeing and ultimately treating him. I should have done better while he was with me. He stares at me long and hard, unwavering in his gaze. Finally, he sighs and returns to the papers on his desk.
If you have nothing left to say, leave me to my work.
He waves me away without so much as a glance. As I head towards the door, he speaks one last time.
Be sure to close the door on your way out. I don't need you interrupting me any more than you already have.
Bitch? Okay. Finding myself back in the hallway, I head in the only available direction left for me. I don't want to linger on the memories of recent events. The hallway feels much shorter than the first time I came through. Perhaps it stems from knowing the unknown. The framed photos from when I first traversed this endless hallway come back into view. I approach the first one. The nursery, never used. The crying doesn't haunt me as much as it did before. He always said that it was my fault that he never had someone to carry on his legacy.
Bruh.
I guess he doesn't have to worry about that anymore. Taking a step closer, I raise my hand to the photo. I'm glad I never had you. It saved you from having to experience this world. From having to experience him. Things always happen for a reason, and this was probably for the best. Best not to linger on what could have been. I continue to the next framed photo and look up at the woman before me. Yeah! I'm sorry we've lost so much of our time together. I wish you were with me now, to help pull me out of this place. You would have known what to do, what to say against him. I remember how strong-willed she was. Nothing could faze her. Not even my husband. Now that I think about it, my husband never had anything good to say about her. She will only plague your thoughts.
Oh, she will only plague your thoughts with ideas unfit for a woman, let alone a wife. Bruh.
Her ideas were always grand, like traveling and exploring the world.
Have you not heard how the town speaks of her? Why do you think she continues to be unwed? She often said a man would only hold her back.
Oh, she often said a man would only hold her back.
You have to let her go at some point. She won't be with you forever. That's what I'm here for. To care for and protect you.
You only protected me from seeing the world, and from the world seeing me. She's unwed because she's a lesbian. Yeah, maybe she just likes girls, bro. I chuckled to myself. Maybe when we grew apart, that's where she went. Around the world, experiencing things I could only dream of. Like kissing girls. We keep pushing the lesbian agenda. All on her own. The last words she spoke to me come trickling back. Come, my friend. We can travel the globe together. Just the two of us. Away from those who insist on dictating how we live our lives. I wish I had followed you. Turning my back on my friend yet again, I do my best to continue. It's what she would have done. I stop at the last frame before me. The unhappy memories of my wedding night enter my mind. It wasn't long after the reception had ended. Our family and friends were still present at the venue. He had pulled me aside after following me to the restroom. Seething through his clenched teeth, he accused me of embarrassing him in front of our loved ones. That I called his family cheap, that I was too materialistic, that I was unappreciative of what they have given. What? I had only pointed out that his parents' gifted bottle of wine still had its price tag tacked to the bottom. That was the first time I learned how little he cared to listen to anything I had to say. He simply continued to scold me, as if he was in love with hearing his own voice. If only I knew then what I know now. The moment I turn away from the framed photo, the arch of the hallway exit appears before me, as if the house knows I'm ready to move on. I hurry through the archway as quickly as possible, leaving those memories behind for now. But somehow, I know this isn't the end of it. Why did that woman bring me here? What could she possibly have to gain from doing this to me? All that pain, all the guilt and resentment, thrown back in my face like it was nothing. Why can't I just be left in peace? You really don't get it yet? Suddenly she appears before me again, with that odd smile that doesn't look right on her face. My shadow. I'm doing this for you, my dear, so you can finally stop burying your head in the sand. You're beginning to see the light, but it's not enough. Oh no, it's not nearly enough yet. You're enjoying this, aren't you? Forcing me to relive the things I've been through? The things he did to me? Tell me something. If you really are me, what do you want to watch? Why do you want to watch me suffer? Because, darling, your strength is my strength. The truth will set you free and all that, but it can't very well do that if you don't face it. And what truth is that? She lets out a giggle and taps the side of her face conspiratorially before vanishing once again, her voice still echoing in my ears. You'll see. And just like that, I'm alone again. But something is wrong. A deep rumbling reverberates beneath my feet, a shiver running up my spine. The air grows heavy and oppressive, as though the walls are closing in around me. I look around wildly, but there's no sign of the danger that my body is sure is near. What is... And then I see them. Countless shapes pressing themselves against the windows. Some are familiar, some I've never seen before. But all their eyes are on me, rounding on me as if I'm a caged animal. Their whispers permeate the glass, low at first, but soon rising to furiously hurled curses, words I know all too well.
I'm sure I saw her hide a smile. Probably wanted to keep all his money to herself. Doesn't sound like she actually loved him at all.
And one voice that I hear above all the others.
Thought his wife was going to kill him.
Stop. I begin to draw into myself, but they won't relent. They don't even seem to notice me there anymore. So wrapped up are they in their hatred.
Could she even think of him? Who does she think she is? Nothing about him, she knew it.
Stop. I open my mouth, but no sound comes out. The voice rise to a fever pitch, enraged shouts and howling taunts so loud they threaten to shatter the glass that holds them. I can barely even hear their words anymore.
Greedy, ungrateful, faithless, murderer.
Stop! A dead silence falls after my scream. The shadows all swivel to look at me in unison, as though they're one body, one mind. But I don't care. You have no idea what you're talking about. None of you. Not a single one of you knows what our marriage was really like. And why... why would you? You only ever saw what you wanted to see. If you knew the first thing about me, you'd know I would never do this. My eyes scanned the writhing crowd, and suddenly, there she is. The woman I saw him with. Oh. You had something with my husband, didn't you? She tilts her head at me with contempt.
Yes, I did, and I'm not ashamed. He helped me through a hard time, but you just had to make it about you. Why shouldn't he and I comfort each other? You never gave him what he needed, even when he did everything for you.
What? What? He was never satisfied. It wouldn't have mattered if I gave him everything I had. Nothing I did was ever good enough for him. And to say that I drove him to you is nothing but an excuse.
Keep telling yourself that.
Something about her seems to deflate, and she melts away into the masses. Yeah, fuck you, bitch. I shake my head and find another shape in the crowd. Her, my oldest friend. But why are you here? I never did anything to you.
Didn't you? The moment you married that man, you suddenly didn't have time for anyone else. I thought we'd always be friends, but you abandoned me.
She bows her head sadly.
Why did you do that to me? What did I do wrong?
He turned me against you. I'm sorry. He always told me you were a bad influence, and for a long time I believed him. He must have hated how close we were. I think, in the end, he just wanted me to himself.
There's still time, you know? We could find each other again someday.
Her body sags as though a great weight has been lifted off her shoulders, and then she is gone. I squeeze my eyes shut. I can't think of that. Not yet. So I find one more shape in the mob. You were his patient, his friend. We did everything together, and you never once saw him betray me?
If he ever hid anything from you, it's because you were always so paranoid. He couldn't so much be alone with someone without you biting his head off. He was a good man. He only ever wanted to help people. Why are you so hell-bent on denying that?
You never gave me a chance. You enabled him? You don't remember a friend. What's this guy? Husband? Our husband's gay lover? No. You enabled him. Of course. Why didn't I see it before? He kept you around because you always covered for him, and your friendship meant you never questioned him either. I wonder, do you even know what he was really doing on all those nights where he used you as an excuse to not come home?
You've got me all wrong. I never meant to.
But the shameful shifting of his stance tells me all I need to know. He withdraws into himself, then vanishes into the crowd.
That's quite enough, darling.
It's the most familiar voice to me in the world, yet my heart jumps all the same. I resist my instinct to look away and follow his voice up to the top of the staircase to meet his eyes. But the figure that stands before me is no bigger than my husband, but the malice that radiates from his body seems to stretch all the way to the ceiling. No, even higher than that. To the sky! No matter how hard I focus, I can't seem to see him in any detail. It's like I'm staring at a blind spot in my vision, a spot of nothingness. He peers at me from a face enshrouded in darkness, his head tilted at an odd angle, as though his neck is broken. It looks nothing like him, but somehow I know it is.
This is really getting tiresome. Don't you think it's time to drop this silly little charade?
He takes a menacing step down the stairs, and I'm suddenly aware I'm completely alone with him. But I refuse to relent. Not now.
Oh no. Bro, your mascara again.
That's all you know how to do, isn't it? Treat my pain like an inconvenience every time I get too uppity. Shut me down over and over again until I don't see the point in getting up anymore. Call it whatever you want. This isn't a game, and I'm not playing. He draws in a breath, deep and shuddering, like a death rattle, and it takes me a moment to realize that he's laughing.
Such fire. Where was this backbone when we were married? Perhaps if you hadn't been so useless, I wouldn't have to...
No, you don't get to turn this around on me anymore. You never wanted a wife. You wanted a doll. A mindless little nothing, always at your beck and call, who never got angry or talked back. Who never once questioned anything you did, because the truth was so obvious that one look was all it took. One look to see that you were the pathetic one. His form bristles with palpable anger, but I can't stop. The words keep flooding out of me, a torment finally breaking through a dam. All your hatred, your sadness, your apathy, you were too much of a coward to face any of it, so instead you put it all on me. So desperate were you to feel like a man that you endlessly beat down on someone who you knew would never fight back. You were perfectly willing to let the whole town think that I was the problem too, that I would even kill you. Congratulations. You're so convincing that it took you dying for me to see that you were never anything more than a broken, empty... I don't see him move. In a blink of the eye, he's gone from the stairs to inches away from my face. Uh-oh. Up close, his head is ugly. His head is an ugly, writhing mass of shadows, his eyes a furious blaze.
How dare you!
I feel the air go out of my lungs. His very presence is so cold, so suffocating that being this close to him is like plunging into freezing water.
I have lived horrors that you can't even begin to imagine. I was a hero. I earned my place in heaven 1,000 times over. And all I asked for in return was peace and quiet, a loving wife, a family. But you couldn't even give me that. Instead, you sat there day after day, moaning about how unfair it all was. Are you an idiot? I didn't have to give you the world. I chose to, and I can take it all away just as easily.
The dark tendrils close around me and squeeze. Spots swim in my vision as they begin to fade. This is it. I can't even scream. I can only gasp for air that doesn't come. Then, somewhere in the quietest part of my mind, I hear her. Is that it? Come on, don't give up on me now. You feel it too, don't you? Why he's so desperate? He's afraid. Of you. Of me. Of us. Use it. Something in me flares to life, and my hand shoots out of its own accord to seize him by the jaw, forcing him to look at me. Oh. Wind whips out all around me, sending the tendrils shrinking back. For a moment, I see it in his eyes. Fear. I don't think so. He struggles against the force holding him in place, but it's no use. He spits out another hoarse laugh, teeth gnashing in fury.
You really think you're won? It doesn't matter what happens here. You're nothing without me, and you always will be. Nothing but my poor, wretched widow, who could never...
My name is Hilda! The wind rises to a fever pitch, threatening to engulf him entirely, but I don't let it. Not yet. Instead, I hold my shadow at bay as I pull him close. And you will never speak my name again, because you are dead, and I am not. Now go to hell where you belong.
I plunge my other hand into his chest where his heart should be and twist. He gives a final enraged howl before the wind cuts him to ribbons. And where there was once a cloud of impenetrable darkness, suddenly there's just me. Okay, girl. Wow, what a... No, don't say it's she. Okay. And her. Well, that was exciting. I can only give her a tired laugh in response. I know I have nothing to fear from her now. Somehow, it feels silly that I ever did. Not the celebration you were expecting? No. It was even better. So, what's next for us? I'm going to go home, take a bath, and get the best sleep I've had in years. And then, we're going to live. Sounds like a plan. She vanishes, her echoing laugh reverberating in my own chest. I take a moment to breathe, slowly in, slowly out, before turning to leave. Golden sunlight streams in through the door that creaks open at my approach. I stop at the threshold, taking one last look at the strange house in the woods, before stepping out into the fresh air. There's so much that went unsaid, so many wounds scarred over that I know won't heal overnight, but I have all the time in the world for that. For now, time to go home. Yeah, let's go! 303. I skipped all the bad endings because I wasn't about to let her have that. No, Hilda, I wouldn't treat you that way. I hope she finds her best friend and then they go on explore the world together and get married. Oh, okay. That's good. That's good. I'm glad. I'm glad. I don't even want to see bad endings because I'm like it'll just make me feel sad. I was worried because like I was like scared of the game being super scary, but it's okay. It's okay. I like the black and white a lot. I know it's supposed to emulate like a German film or something of the sort. But yeah, I think it was really cool. Black and white. It's very stylized. And like I like the story too. It's always a good story of a woman realizing her husband is shit and leaving him. I mean, granted that it is justified, and in this case it is very justified. I feel like... I don't know. I think, like, especially, like, with some of the stuff that the husband was saying is, like, it's extremely, gaslighty. Yeah. Which makes sense since it's in the content warning, huh? But I can totally see how she was so tricked for all those years. It must have sucked too. And like, to that part too, where he was saying how like, oh, or like he was gonna give, like he prescribed her medicine or something, but then the medicine was like possibly making her hallucinate, which is some crazy shit. And it reminds me a lot of where the term gaslighting came from, which if I remember correctly, it's from like an old movie. Was it called Gaslight? I think it was called something else though. But the old movie where it's like the term, like the gas light, as in the gas coming from the light, the gas used to power the light, was like making this woman, was it hallucinate or something like that? And then her husband was trying to tell her that no, you're not seeing anything, you're just being crazy, like that, like yeah, or like he's just telling her that she's crazy and that she shouldn't be seeing anything like that or something like that. I don't know.
someone mentioned it once in like a video, and I don't remember where it came from, but I'm sure you can look it up. But it reminds me a lot of that. Yeah. Other than that, I guess there's not too much to say. We're missing a CG though. It's probably from a bad end. I do wish that they had. Ooh. I do wish that they had more CGs. I feel like some of the scenes were a little. I know this is like my criticism for everything, but like I know like some of the scenes were like a little static, but it's like, you know, it's not too long or too bad that it noticeably takes away from your experience. So it's fine, you know. And obviously there's a time constraint, so you can only do so much work, right? So yeah. Like, yeah. But like, I mean, like a CG of her choking him would have been real cool. And real satisfying. But, well, you know. Yeah. Yeah, cool game. Not much else to say, but, yep.
You're real good at this, She. After like
How many games have I done now? Like, it's like the 25th one? After like 25 games, I still don't know how to properly end a stream. So yeah. Check out Witch's Shadow, follow the developers. A good number of people worked on this, actually. Oh, they had proofreaders! Yeah, there weren't any typos! Crazy. But yeah. Alright. Cool. I'm gonna end stream and go find another game.
Is this why you're doing this Friday?
Yes. So, see you soon. Thanks for sticking around. And I'll see you in like 3 seconds. Bye!